Hi, my name is Ashley Morgan. I use her, she pronouns, and I'm a sexual health peer here at Mizzou. Now, normally I will be discussing like barrier methods and how to put on a condom and about consent. But today I'm going to talk about one of our partner groups here on campus, which is Active Minds. Active Minds is a mental health group on campus who advocates for those who just simply are going through stress. And usually around this time, stress levels are higher because we are going through midterms, which I wish you the best on, by the way. So, yes, I feel like the timing of this presentation will be perfect for you all today. Now, does anyone know the definition of the word stress? Yes. Yes, it can be pressure being applied to you. Stress can be physical pressure. What else? Okay. It can deal with your mental health. Yes, after a while, stress can be overwhelming and can affect your ability to function. And that's when you know stress is detrimental. That's when you know that the stress needs to be dealt with. Now, there is such thing as good stress because stress is normal and it's a very important part of life, actually. There's stress that actually makes you do well, makes you more creative. It actually helps you stay focused. And then there's the bad stress where you can be so stressed out that you're bored. And there's also stress where you have a sensory overload, which we will get ready to discuss in a moment. And yes, defining stress is your ability to adapt to change. So the change can be good, the change can be bad, you can expect it, it could be unexpected. And that will definitely verify whether or not the stress is good or bad or tolerable. Now, can anybody tell me the different types of stress? Like ways to respond to stress. What are different stress responses? Okay, I think I see a hand. Yes. Okay. So some good ways. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said good ways. Well, some ways can be mentally, as we mentioned, which is cognitive. So basically, it affects your mind. What else? Okay. So again, physical. What happens to your body physically when you go through stress? Besides the pressure we mentioned. Yes, it can affect your digestive system. You actually become ill. Yes. All right, those are very good answers. Additionally, it can affect you behaviorally because it'll affect your ability to be able to sleep. It can also cause you to develop unhealthy coping mechanisms such as drinking, smoking, overeating, and so on. So when you get to that point, as I've mentioned, that's when it's time to try to find better coping mechanisms. Okay. So statistics say 77% of Americans do experience stress. 33% say they're under extreme stress. Now, can anybody tell me what the main stressors are? There's two. Okay. Relationships. That's a good one. What else? Yes, work. All right, throw some more at me. School. Okay, there's also a real big one. It's related to work. Money. Yes. So the top two things that cause stress are finances and work. And I can validate that having a work balance, school balance, social life, sleep balance, and many other things, it gets hard to juggle all of that. But I have to keep going because even though I'm tired, bills gotta get paid. I gotta eat. um, and I have to build my work ethic. So these things are necessary, but however, if they're not dealt with properly or there's no organization, it can cause some stress. Okay? So, what are some ways that you cope with stress? Okay? Getting good rest. Okay? What else? Writing. That's a good one. I like to write too. What else? Exercise. That is a really good one. All right, so that's some good ways to cope with stress. But there is one issue. There are some people who feel like the best way to cope with stress is just ignore it altogether, not coping, which is very unhealthy because ultimately this stress will begin to bubble up and it'll come out. Usually it may come out in fits of rage. You may actually shut down and you may just get drained. So never ever pretend that you're not going through anything. Try to reach out because everyone is stressed out about something. What matters is how do you cope? Okay, so the different types of coping mechanisms are direct, they are mindful, and they are healthful. Direct is you deal with the source of the stress head on. Then healthful is trying to promote physical and psychological health. Mental and physical health are very important. And then mindful is trying to self-monitor and see what things stress you out, being aware of what your stressors are. Additional ways to cope with stress, try to figure out what's causing it. Where's the stress coming from? What can stop it? What are some new ways to actually cope with the stress? Here, I have a little stress curve. So basically, it rates stress from low to high. So the lowest one is understimulation, which means you'll go through boredom, or if you feel stagnant, you can actually get stressed out because you feel like your life is going nowhere. And if you get bored with no external stimuli, you begin to get stressed out because you don't have anything to motivate you. You feel like you're just there. So yes, you can be stressed just because you're simply bored. And then in my light blue, that's optimum stimulation. Basically, as I mentioned, that's when you're the most creative. That's when you're the most thoughtful. You think more rationally. You can adapt to change. And usually there's a lot of progress at that time because you're well focused, your eyes are on the prize when you're going through optimum stress levels. And then in the dark is overstimulation, which is overload, which basically can cause you to shut down. Ultimately, that can lead to sleep problems, even depression. That can lead to anxiety, ineffective problem solving, and exhaustion, and even being physically ill. So when you're overstimulated, everything just becomes too much due to the lack of organization, lack of help, lack of coping. So the best way to summarize this is a good old cup of coffee. So usually I will feel understimulated if I have no coffee. Optimum stimulation is when I have a nice healthy amount of sugar and cream in my coffee. Maybe like 1 cup of coffee a day early in the morning. Now I will be overstimulated if I drink some coffee, get a frappe with additional shot of espresso, probably some extra goodness in it, and then I'll probably be jittery everywhere, not focused. And so basically I'm stimulate overboard. And then ultimately the coffee will eventually make me crash. So yes, overstimulation, understimulation are definitely not good ways to cope. We definitely want that middle ground, which is optimal. Okay, so what are some good stress management strategies? Okay, yes, okay. Definitely talking to people about your stress. All right, that's very important. Venting, having a good support system around you is very important. What else? Okay, resting. You guys love resting. What else? Yes. Take care of your physical self. Like how? Can you elaborate? Exercise. Okay. All right, those are all very good answers. So, yes, having a good support system is definitely a good way to not stress out. You definitely want people who will bring you up. Like friends are like elevators, they either bring you up or bring you down. Let's have the friends that bring you to the top floor. Because definitely, if you have a poor support system and no support, you don't feel motivated. You don't feel like, you feel like what you're doing is not worth it. But when you have people that's actually there for you, who will help you along the way, who cheer you on, it builds your self esteem. It helps you relax. They can help you release stress. Like when you feel too tired, they'll find ways to motivate you. When you need a break, take a break with them so they can help build you up so you can get that strength up. Having important friends, having strong friends, real friends, is very important to your mental health and your physical stress. Another thing would be eating balanced meals. Now, personally, I am working on that, but it is important to make sure you eat 3 meals a day or practically 6 small meals a day. It's also important to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I know, once again, this is midterms, so it may be hard to do that at this time. But when you get an opportunity, perhaps on the weekend maybe, or whenever you have less work, try to get that extra sleep in. It's very important. Okay? Some additional stress management